He is a public school teacher like no other. His classes burst with energy, with lessons turned into songs that help his students understand and remember more easily. And because he believes children should nourish both mind and body, he prepares balanced meals, not just for his class, but for the entire school. He teaches both children and parents to be enterprising by guiding them through small livelihood projects. His students never want to miss a day because they look forward to his surprises. He is teacher Jeric Maribao of Bonifacio, Misamis Occidental. His videos on Facebook pages, Jeric's Channel and Jeric's Channel 2.0 show just how fun school can truly be. I'm Rochelle Rubio, and this is The Advocates, Empowering Voices.
Di kaki-ati-hapon sa may relasyon sa duha ka nobiro. Ang taon ang GCF o i-simplify 1:5 ang iyang ratio.
He's a public school teacher from Misamis Occidental who went viral for turning his classroom into a stage of learning. In his grade school classes, teacher Jeric Maribao teaches through songs, rewriting popular tunes into lessons his students can easily remember. He builds props, produces his own video materials, and transforms his daily lessons into content that's both entertaining and educational. But his efforts don't stop at creativity. Teacher Jeric goes the extra mile to support his students, from helping provide proper nutrition to supplying school materials and more. Because of his innovative methods and unwavering generosity, his Facebook page, Jeric's Channel, has grown to over 4.2 million followers. Why does he give so much of himself to his students? This is his story.
Ang advocacy ko sa buhay ay maging isang more than a teacher na ginagawa ng isang guro, hindi lamang yung pagtuturo, kung hindi yung pag-shape ng karakter ng isang estudyante na madadala niya habang buhay. Kasi yung pagtuturo, pwede yung pagtuturo ng knowledge from the book ay pwede makakalimutan yan. Pero yung pagtuturo ng makatao na pagiging mabuting tao ay habang buhay na madadala yan. So yung tinatarget ko talaga as a teacher is yung pagiging matulungin. Bata pa ako, talagang mahirap ako talaga, pero dito sa bundok, mas may mahirap pa sa akin. Kaya ko sa mga pagsisikap nila na kahit walang-wala sila, talagang nag-aaral sila ng mabuti kahit walang baon, talagang pumapasok sa eskwelahan. Kaya naisip ko itong ginagawa na ito kasi noon pa man, hindi ko talaga gusto maging guro. Kasi yung pinaka-ultimate na pangarap ko po, ma'am, is to become a broadcaster. Kasi yung tito ko is newscaster. Kaya lang namatay siya. Kaya gusto kong sumunod sa yapak niya. But because of poverty, yun, wala akong direksyon na wala akong straight na direksyon, wala akong guide na dapat ito yung gawin ko para makuha ko itong goal ko to become a broadcaster. Walang ganon. Kaya no choice ako. Sa locality namin is education lang, merong available course. So nag-working student ako. Tapos ayun, nagiging guro din. Kaya nagpray ako sa Panginoon na please Lord, dapat mahalin ko itong trabahong ito kasi meron itong purpose. And pagpunta ko dito sa bundok, ito yung purpose ko. Is to become more than a teacher. And that is to become a father for these children who influences good character.
Teacher Jeric's advocacy goes beyond academics. His commitment to spreading kindness and shaping children's character has inspired even more initiatives centered on sharing, compassion, and showing up for others. For him, teaching isn't confined to textbooks and lesson plans. It's about building values that help children grow into responsible, caring members of society. Where does his passion come from? Was it shaped by his own childhood? Did he see his younger self in the students he now guides? What was Teacher Jeric's early life like?
Mahirap kami noon pero hindi kami umabot to the point na nag-uulam kami ng asin, ganon. Yung mama at saka papa ko naghiwalay kaya lumaki ako na walang ama. So noon kung maalala ko pa ma'am, yung baon ko 5 pesos, 2 pesos kahit merong araw din na wala. Pero kung maalala ko talaga, never talaga ako nag-absent. Talagang hindi talaga sumagit sa isip ko na mag-stop ako ng pag-aaral dahil sa kahirapan namin. Kaya lumaki ako na parang independent. Talagang natapos ko yung pag-aaral ko na hindi ako nakadepende sa pagsisikap ng mga magulang ko. Kaya nung nag-college, talagang nag-working student ako. Yun doon ko pinapatapos yung sarili ko bilang education student. Nag-working ako sa school, tapos nag-working din ako sa bahay. Tapos din ako, graphic artist din ako sa isang computer shop. Yun, talaga araw-araw yun ginagawa ko kasi gabi yung pag-aaral sa college. So during the day, nag-working ako sa school, tapos pumasok ako sa isang bahay para meron akong breakfast, tapos after na, pumasok din ako sa isang computer shop. Then during evening yun, pumasok na din ako bilang estudyante. Tapos yun, that's a cycle for 4 years. Kaya lumaki ako sa pagsisikap talaga. Pagpunta ko dito sa bundok, nalaman ko na meron pang mas mahirap sa akin. Yung nag-udyok talaga sa akin, ma'am, nung nag-aaral ako bilang college, sabi ng professor ko, you have to find the core purpose of your existence. Kaya nga palagi akong nagdadasal, bakit ako nagiging guro, bakit ako naging ganito, hindi ko naman gusto yung pagiging guro. So I always take time to pray na I should find the purpose of the core purpose of my existence. So napunta pa ako dito sa bundok, napakalayo sa permanent address namin. The travel time is 1 hour. So dito talaga ako tumira na. Meron akong boarding house. So umuwi lang ako sa amin once a week po. Kaya nung nakita ko yung mga estudyante dito, kahit na napakahirap nila, meron nga pumapasok na walang laman ang tiyan. That was the best opportunity for me to find the core purpose of my existence.
Inspired by the Department of Education's weekly feeding initiative, Teacher Jeric felt compelled to do more. So he took out a bank loan just to make sure his students could eat every day.
Talagang nag-loan ako sa bangko kasi na-inspire din ako sa feeding program sa Department of Education. Doon din ako na-influence na mag-feeding sila. I was inspired pero nakulangan ako. Kasi yung feeding program ng DepEd is once a week. Hindi talaga siya makaabot, hindi siya enough, ganun. Kaya sabi ko sarili ko, I have to stand on my own. I don't want to depend other organization. Talagang gagawa ako ng sarili kong pamamaraan na magiging epektibo itong feeding programs. I started 100,000. And then when I spent that for 4 months, naubos siya. And unknowingly, meron palang monetization itong Facebook.
What made him start his page, Jeric's Channel? The idea came from his own students who suggested he post his lessons online so they could review them at home. That simple request opened unexpected doors. Teacher Jeric soon found his page monetized by Meta, a pleasant surprise for someone who needed resources to continue providing nutritious meals for his learners.
Pinopost ko pa noon. Noon talagang gumagawa ko ng mga kanta, ganun. Tapos I relate it to my teaching experience as a teacher. Bakit gawin ko itong kanta, itong pagle-lesson ko, pagti-teach ko, singer naman ako, composer din, ganon. So, yun, ginawa ko yun. And then, one day, my pupil said, Sir, bakit hindi mo i-post yan sa Facebook para ma-review namin when we go home sa bahay? Ganon, ma-review namin. So, yun, naisip ko din, bakit hindi ko ito i-post din itong pag-feeding ko. Kasi I started from snacks po. Yung mga healthy veggies, yung pag-games din. And then, I realized na kulang yung biskwit, kulang yung bread. Gusto ko kanin, ganon. Gusto ko talaga bigas para mas kasi more on fiber siya, more on carbohydrates para mas more energy pa. Kasi yung biskwit para after mga couple of minutes mawawala na yung spike ng energy. So yun gusto ko talaga bigas. So yun after 4 months na monetize yung Facebook page. Sabi ko, Lord, paano na to? Inaubos na yung pera ko. Hindi na ako makaloan sa ulit sa bangko kasi for us to reloan, it will take 1 year, ganon. So, hindi 100,000 yung niloan ko kasi syempre meron din akong personal na pangangailangan. Nagloan ako before for the first time mga 400 to 500,000 tapos yung 20% of it nilaan ko siya parang tithes. So instead na nilagay ko siya sa simbahan, talagang diniretso ko sa mga beneficiary sa sa mga bata talaga. So yun, yung 20% of it binigay ko sa mga bata. Then after 4 months naubos na siya. Buti na lang merong monetization. Tapos hindi ko alam magsisweldo pala doon. Merong payout, nilagay ko yung ko doon, PayPal noon, maalala ko pa. Tapos noon, yun, sabi ko, Lord, para po ba saan itong sweldo nito? Sabi ko, I defined it. Sabi ko, Lord, para talaga ito sa advocacy ko. Gusto mo talagang ipagpatuloy ko itong pagpa-feeding ko kasi yung mga bata naghahanap na, sir, sabi na, sir, ano yung ulam natin bukas? Ano yung ulam natin next week? Ganun na-excite sila kasi nasasanay na sila sa sa ginagawa ko. So, yun. Sabi ko, I defined it na this is for my advocacy. Lord, gagawin ko talaga itong instrumento, my page. I will use this as an instrument to continue my mission as a teacher na mag-feed talaga. So, Lord, I will take good care of this. Sabi ko sa sarili ko noon.
4 months after posting his classroom content on Facebook, Teacher Jeric received his first payout. He saw it as a sign to push his advocacy further. Instead of keeping the money, he channeled it back to his students.
Talagang natuloy-tuloy siya. Imagine mo, I had my first Christmas party na I spent 100,000. First Christmas party ko yun. As a teacher, galing pa lang yun sa akin. But I don't have any sponsors that time. Talagang napahanga ako sa ginawa kong difference kasi this is not normal. Hindi to normal na ginagawa ng teacher na magsispend ng ng 100,000 in just one event, yung Christmas party. So yun talagang na-inspire ako sa mga ginagawa ko, pinagpatuloy ko yun until kasi I believe na kapag meron kang malaking pangarap, malaki din yung mga difficulties, mga challenges na darating sa iyo. I experienced that until now. Yung first experience ko when I continue my advocacy, na-restrict yung page ko.
But the momentum was short-lived. Just 3 months after that initial payout, his page was restricted for copyright violations he did not know he had committed. Today, after almost 4 years of running Jeric's channel, the page remains unmonetized.
Na-restrict yung page ko, pero ang violation kasi I don't know talaga although I am techie, pero I don't know the rules. I'm ignorant kasi that time. Merong expert na nagsabi sa akin na meron daw mag-notify sa akin yung technology sa akin if the tune, if the tune was not mine, I have to admit. Inadmit ko naman kasi totoo. Although yung lyrics sarili ko yung version, pero the tune, the music, hindi talaga siya sa akin. After 4 months of posting sa video po, ma'am, sa Facebook na monetize. Tapos na monetize siya within 3 months lang yun. Tapos after 3 months until now, hindi siya na-solve ang restriction po.
Despite his intentions, not everyone welcomes his work. Teacher Jeric has received accusations that he uses his students to earn from his page. He wants the public to know the truth. His restrictions have never been lifted, which means he has had no monetization for nearly 4 years. He also emphasizes that he did not create the channel to earn. In fact, he had no idea monetization even existed when he first started posting.
Even my neighbors dito sa aming barangay, meron akong naririnig ng mga issue until na talagang pinalabas ko na sa page ko na wala talaga akong na earn. I earned for 3 months only, but after that until now wala na siya. Sabi ko naman sa Diyos na, Lord, paano na ito? Wala na akong na-restrict na. Meron pang part doon na nag-earn pa din ako pero hindi ako maka-withdraw, ganun. Kasi na-restrict nga, ganun. Until now, meron pa din siyang little amounts na mga earnings na pupunta sa page ko pero hindi ko talaga siya makuha kasi na-restrict yan. Witness yung 3 manager ko na until now, nag-fix pa din sila sa payout account ko na hindi talaga siya makukuha yung sweldo ko doon sa Facebook. So, yun. After that 3 months na na-restrict siya, ma'am, talagang nag-pray ako, Lord, anong gagawin ko? Anong gagawin ko? Kasi wala na akong ibang source. Ganon. Ayaw ko naman mag-reloan kasi paano naman yung pamilya ko? I have 2 daughters. Meron din ako. I am a breadwinner. Meron akong 2 kapatid na pinapaaral ko. Meron akong parents din. Ganon. So, maka-loan ako pero sa next year pa ganon.
With no monetization and despite ongoing financial challenges, Teacher Jeric pressed on with his feeding program and gift giving. Long before his channel began, he was already selling peanut butter to earn extra income. As more people learned about his work, his sales grew, strengthened by the trust of his supporters. On top of that, several supporters stepped in and sent donations for the children.
Merong bumibili na 100 pieces, 200 pieces, 50 pesos. So yun, natuloy-tuloy siya until na meron ako mga sponsor. Kasi para 'di ba para din yung produkto na kapag nagbebenta ka, trusted na yung product mo. So meron ng bumibili sa iyo. Para din sa akin yung service ko is my product. So trusted na din ako sa mga tao. Kaya talagang binavalue ko yung trust na binibigay sa akin ng mga tao na nagbibigay sila sa akin ng suporta na hindi ko naman siya hinihingi kahit na wala akong nilalagay noon doon na GCash pero nag-PM sila na, Sir, what's your GCash? I will support you. So, sino ba naman ako na hindi ko siya tatanggapin para naman sa mga bata. So, sabi ko, Lord, this is for the children. Kaya ginastos ko talaga siya. Kaya kapag kung makita mo sa kapag mag-feed ako, parang milyonaryo talaga ako kasi marami eh.
Teacher Jeric has vowed that as long as there are people supporting his advocacy, he will continue feeding his students with complete meals and providing school supplies, even small livelihood assistance for their families.
As long as merong susuporta sa akin, gagawin ko itong instrument para ma-continue ko lang yung advocacy ko. Until now, meron pa din akong sponsor with God's grace. Dr. Cal is one of my major sponsor po. Siya din yung rason na naoperahan yung mata ko. I did not only grow as a teacher, I also grow as a father and as a giver.
Feeding his students every day demands time and effort. He begins cooking as early as 2 or 3 in the morning and leaves for school by 5 to make sure his learners have a healthy breakfast before class. On some days, he prepares part of the food the night before.
Kahit naputol, hindi ko matiis na hindi ko siya matuloy kasi naging advocacy ko na siya tapos nasanay na yung mga bata. During that, yung first to 2 years ko, nagfo-focus lang ako sa classroom ko kasi I am a combination class teacher for grade 5 and grade 6. Tapos yung feeding ko noon, araw-araw talaga. Hindi na ako makatulog ng maayos, kulang na ako sa tulog, puyat palagi. 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 5 a.m., ganon. Kadalasan, meron akong strategy. Halimbawa, yung mga fried fish, niluluto ko na siya pagkagabi kasi hindi naman siya masisira pagka kinabukasan. yung mga fried na mga ulam, niluluto ko siya pagkagabi. So pagka morning, kanin na lang yung lulutuin ko, ganon, para ma-manage ko yung time ko. After 2 years, kasi I inspired to upgrade my advocacy, sabi ko, it's time for me to go out on my classroom. So I need to feed also the other class. So from kinder to grade 6.
Today, with the number of beneficiaries growing, Teacher Jeric now feeds the entire school from kindergarten to grade 6. He does it once a week, a practical adjustment since feeding more than 100 children daily has become financially impossible for him to sustain.
When I do that, once a week na ako nagpapakain. Hindi na siya everyday. Dumami lahat na 100 plus pupils na. So kapag araw-arawin ko yun, unless kung milyonaryo ako, pwede ko yun magagawa kulang naman ako sa budget. I meditated, tapos I asked guidance from God. What will I do? Masustain ko lang siya tapos para ma-feed ko lahat ng mga estudyante. And then until now, I sustained it once a week.
His creativity in the classroom has never stopped. He continues to develop new methods, turn lessons into songs, and produce visual aids and props that make his classes not only effective for learning, but truly entertaining.
Hindi lang siya ordinaryong pagtuturo yung ginagawa ko na strategy. It is not an ordinary teaching. Talagang binubuhos mo lahat ng energy mo to create a song, to compose a song, meron pang visual aid.
How long does it take him to prepare his lessons complete with music?
It will only take for me 1 hour to finish that. Diba, it will take you to become a composer, to become a singer, for you to do that. Sa akin, hindi naman ako professional composer, but I can compose. Kasi teachers are flexible.
He now has 3 original compositions, one of which was used during the graduation ceremony.
Recorded yun sa Viva Records sa Cebu. Invited that time na maging artist nila, pero hindi ako nakapasa sa standard nila, yung boses ko hindi nakapasa. So okay lang, pero I take advantage of our relationship. Sabi ko, meron akong own composition, baka ma-record ko dyan. So yun, talagang tinulungan naman nila ako.
His students are not only entertained, they are also learning more effectively. Studies on music-integrated instruction in grade school show that using songs in lessons can boost academic performance, improve attitude toward learning, and strengthen retention compared with traditional methods. Research involving Filipino learners also indicates that music-based teaching supports comprehension and memory in subjects such as math, language, social studies, and science. For Teacher Jeric, weaving music into his lessons comes naturally. Each lesson goes through peer review, and he carefully highlights the key words his students need to remember. He walks us through his teaching approach and the creative process behind it.
Kapag gagawa ko ng kanta, madali lang talaga yon kasi tinuturo ko na siya Yung mga lesson, tinuturo ko na siya, pinapireview ko na siya. Kinukuha ko na lang yung mga keyword, yung mga important na mga word para mas maalala pa ng mga estudyante. So when I finish the song, yung lyrics ko pa muna, yung pinapamemorize sa mga bata, and each lyrics, each statement doon, pinapaliwanag ko pa siya. And then, mamamangha yung mga estudyante, kanta pala yung minamemorize na sa amin, sir. Then, so, after the, during Friday, pinapakanta ko na siya, ini-integrate ko na yung tune ng kanta. Kanta pala yan, sir. So, na-memorize na nila, tapos na familiar na lang nila yung mga meaning ng bawat mga word doon. So, with repetition, the song or the lyrics in the song, the music would become an entertainment, not only an entertainment, but with a great lesson talaga na makukuha na hindi makakalimutan ng mga bata.
In Teacher Jeric's classroom, these findings come to life. His music-filled lessons have strengthened his connection with students who now show greater enthusiasm for attending classes and retaining what they learn. He has used songs to explain topics many consider difficult or dull, topics like fractions, ratios, history, and geography have become easier for his students to understand and remember. What subjects does he actually handle in school?
All subjects kasi I am elementary teacher. Yung mga subject na fino-focus ko talaga, pinakauna yung araling panlipunan. Kasi yung history is napaka-boring, makinig, ganon. So, doon ako kumukuha ng mga nagbe-base ng mga lesson para mas ma-entertain pa yung mga bata at para ma-love nila yung kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. Hindi ko makakalimutan yung ginawa kong kanta about Bonifacio, about Jose Rizal, about sa mga colonization ng mga Espanyol, sa mga Amerikano, sa mga Hapon, yung mga ganon. So hindi ko yan makakalimutan, and right now gusto ko siyang mauulit pero in a better way na naman. Kung akong tatanungin, ayaw kong magbabalik-balik yung mga strategy ko. Gusto ko talaga unique yung pagdi-deliver ko ng mga strategy. Kasi doon ako na kilala ng mga estudyante ko being a unique teacher.
Does he observe real changes in the students' performance, perhaps even higher grades that can be traced back to his creative approach in the classroom?
Yung motivation level talaga nila talagang umaapaw, kasi to the point na pumapasok sila kahit meron sang sakit, oo, merong fever, so palagi meron akong biogesic sa classroom ko kasi ayaw nila mag-absent kasi naglo-look forward din sila sa ulam, yung mga pinapakain ko, at saka yun na din yung teaching strategy ko kasi palaging humakanta. Tapos meron din akong naririnig na kapag uuwi sila or during their recreation time, kinakanta nila sa likuran ng paaralan ko yung kanta ko kahit walang music, talagang kinakanta nila. So hanggang sa pag-uwi lang sa bahay nila, kinakanta nila kasi nilalagay ko yung lyrics sa GC nila.
Teacher Jeric has seen a clear shift in his students. Their motivation to attend classes and study their lessons continues to rise. The fun atmosphere, the surprises, and the food all make them excited to come to school. In many ways, he has helped transform their campus into a safe, happy, and energizing space for children. But with such a demanding advocacy, is he receiving moral support and encouragement from DepEd and his fellow teachers?
Meron ako natatanggap sa aming division, yun, social media influencer. So, yung mga ganun. So, I'm very, very happy kasi yung mga co-teachers ko very supportive din until now. Yung mga superiors na ko dito sa aming division, sa district, very, very supportive din.
To lift the restrictions on his page, Teacher Jeric removed more than 60 of his videos with music. Some of them had 20 to 30 million views, but the restrictions were never lifted. Hence, his page is not monetized. Still, Teacher Jeric never stopped his advocacy, which was never driven by views, clout, nor monetization.
Lahat ng mga videos ko, dinilit ko siya kasi gusto ko nga mawala yung restriction ng page ko. Kaya napaisip ako, bakit i-delete ko itong mga music ko na merong mga kanta, baka mawala yung restriction. Mga 20 million, 30 million views, mga ganun. Dinilit ko talaga siya para lang talaga malinis yung page ko. Meron pa ding restriction. Gumagamit pa din ako ng music, ma'am, kasi nakasanayan ko na yan. Pero pinaproduce ko talaga siya sa Viva. Wini-wish ko siya na maulit siya, pero budget-wise, parang hindi ko na siya makayanan. Yung ginawa ko na lang ngayon is kung ano yung mas importante at saka mas need ng mga bata, doon ako nagpo-focus.
It takes a village to raise a child, and Teacher Jeric lives by that truth. He recognizes not only his students for their academic excellence, but also their parents for standing firmly behind them. In doing so, he helps build a community united by one goal: taking children's education seriously. In previous PTA meetings, he gave out sacks of rice. At one point, he provided food items for his students' families. And as graduation gifts, he even offered livelihood packages to help them start anew.
During the PTA meeting, nag-start pa talaga ako noon, ma'am, sa 1 kilo, 2 kilong bigas. Until na nagiging isang half sack siya. naging 25 kilos, yun. So, I'm very, very happy na nagawa ko talaga yan kasi it's unusual for a teacher to do like that. And I'm very, very happy kasi ako yung pinili ng Panginoon na gawin iyang mga bagay na iyan.
Because his advocacy carries a high personal cost, Teacher Jeric once considered working overseas. Leaving the students and the school he had grown to love would have been painful. Yet, he believed he had no choice.
This year, mag-abroad sana ako kasi last year December, talagang pinaplano ko na I want to go abroad kasi na-realize ko na I cannot sustain this anymore kasi budget-wise, hindi ko na talaga siya makayanan. Kasi nakadalawang loan na ako for this advocacy. Meron na sana akong job offer doon sa United States. I have to work abroad. Sabi ko sarili ko, there are three purpose that I want to do it, why I want to go abroad. First, I want to continue my advocacy. Kasi sabi ko sarili ko, na-imagine ko, I will be earning there in the United States. So I have to sustain my advocacy by sending money here in the mountain. Tapos ipapagawa ko sa mga co-teacher ko. So tapos i-upload ko din sa page ko. So in that way, masustain pa siya. Ganon. Secondly, ma-provide ko yung pangangailangan ng parents ko. Kasi until now, wala pa silang masyadong, hindi naman bongga na bahay. At least man lang ma-renovate ko yung bahay namin at para din sa aking mga anak. And third, kasi isa sa mga bucket list ng wish ko talaga is yung pag-abroad. I want to grow more as a teacher, not only here in the Philippines, but outside the Philippines. Kasi I want to expose my teaching strategies as a teacher. Baka madala ko doon yung pagiging guro ko na itong ginagawa ko sa booking, yung pakanta-kanta. Baka makakanta din ako doon. Ganon.
That was the plan, until last February when he received a call from someone willing to support his advocacy and cover the cost of his eye operation, allowing him to stay in the country and remain with the children in the remote community he serves.
Wala akong earnings, sabi niya, Sir Jerry, kunin ko yung video mo, i-post ko sa video ko, yung earnings is kunin mo. Ganon. So umabot siya ng 11 million views. Ganon. So, during that video call sa live, yung iniisip ko, i-announce na ni Doc Cal yung makukuha ko na na amount na sweldo from that video. Pero naging naging unexpected na event kasi hindi ko siya impronto na share ko yung yung plano ko na mag-abroad na ako, ganon. Doon din, unexpectedly, napadecide si Doc Carl na, no, don't go to the US. I want you to continue kasi sino na lang ang magko-continue sa advocacy mo kung wala ka, sabi niya. So, sabi niya, I will fund you forever, sabi niya. Makikita, maririnig doon sa sa video, ma'am. Tapos talagang na unending yung tears ko doon during that interview kasi sabi niya na I will continue it through him, through his foundation. So gumagastos siya ng 40,000 a month every month. During that year, 2 buwan na lang para mag-graduation. So, nag-send siya sa akin ng 80,000 for that last 2 years, for that school year. Hindi ko siya ginastos. During the February, March, hindi ko siya ginastos. Ginastos ko siya during graduation. Nakapigay ako ng mga biik, mga feeds ng biik, tapos meron ding manok, merong school supply, meron ding bigas. Kaya more than 80,000 yung nagastos ko doon at malaking tulong talaga yung yung funds na binigay ni Doc Carl sa akin.
For many parents and students, Teacher Jeric's graduation gifts became something to look forward to. Beyond perishables, he also provided true livelihood by giving families piglets and chickens they can raise for income.
Yung first graduation sa advocacy ko, nagbibigay ako ng cellphone, bigas, Bible. Yung second ko naman na graduation is isa-isa sa kanila, pinapalitson ko sila ng baboy. Meron talagang baboy. Parang 15 ata yun sila na-graduates, 15 din na lechon baboy, meron ding 15 na bigas, meron ding 15 na cake, meron ding 15 na tarpaulin. Talagang yung ipe-prepare na lang sa bahay nila is kanin na lang, ganun, and other root crops. Sabi ko, yung ibibigay ko, something na magagamit nila forever. So I thought of a livelihood. Kasi na-inspire ako last year, ma'am, nagbigay ako sa mga achievers ko ng mga biik. 6 sila noon, 6 sila na nabigyan ko ng biik. Tapos, walang kondisyon yon na ipaparami nyo yan. Talagang initiative yon ng mga parents na palalaguin nila yung biik nila. So, ngayon, survive pa din yung 2 parents, yung baboy naka-5 anak na. Naka-5 anak na. Tapos every anak ng mga baboy na binibigyan nila ako ng isang biik, ma'am, parang din sa tithes ba yung 10%, mga ganon. So yung binibigay na sa akin, tinatanggap ko naman. Tapos pinapalaki ko, pinafeed ko ulit sa mga bata. Parang cycle din. So every anak binibigyan na ako ng isa, ganon. So napaisip ako, ito yung gagawin ko during this graduation. So ginagather ko yung mga parents ko. With this time, meron ng kondisyon. Sabi ko, dapat palalakihin nyo ito, hindi nyo ibibenta. Ganon. Kasi kapag ibebenta nyo, babawiin ko. Ganon. So, meron kaming pinipirma na agreement na ganito yung gawin mo, ganito yung gawin mo. Tapos yung pinili ko talaga na baboy is native talaga. Kasi kapag hindi siya native, kapag hybrid siya, malaki yung gastos doon. Pa-inspire ko sa mga parents ko na ito yung susundin natin, yung merong 2 parents na until now, buhay pa din ang baboy. So, ito yung gagawin natin. So, aside from that, yung nalaman nila is biik lang talaga yung matatanggap nila. Pero, hindi nila alam na meron pang kasamang feeds, meron pang mga vitamins sa biik, tapos meron ding manok na until now, marami na din sila. So ngayon, ma'am, yung status ng mga biik na binibigay ko noong graduation ay mga buntis na. Lahat ng mga baboy ngayon, mga buntis na. So meron akong schedule next month is supervise ako sa mga baboy until na mga i-video ko naman ulit. Tapos i-announce ko na ito na yung baboy na biik na binibigay ko, naging ina na siya.
Teacher Jeric has faced one setback after another. His page, Jeric's Channel, was restricted. Then it was hacked. But with the support of his followers and sponsors, he stood his ground. To keep his advocacy alive, he continued selling peanut butter. He launched a new platform, Jeric's Channel 2.0, and eventually regained access to his original page. Through everything, he stayed firm in his choice to remain with his students and continue his calling, even when a promising future in the U.S. was within reach. And all he asks of his students is this.
My message to my children is makinig kayo palagi sa parents niyo, makinig kayo palagi sa guro niyo. Kasi kami yung best na nakakaalam kung ano yung best para sa inyo. And then lahat ng mga natutunan ninyo sa paaralan at sa bahay, at gawin niyo siyang inspirasyon para sa paglaki ninyo ay maisabuhay ninyo. At sana'y mga estudyante ko na naturuan ko na hanggang ngayon naging high school na, sana hindi niyo ako makakalimutan. At sana sa pagtanda ko ay mabibisita niyo ako dito sa bundok ninyo kasi dito na ako nakatira.
Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Proverbs 22 verse 6. Teacher Jeric Maribao has become a steady presence in his students' lives, far beyond the classroom. He teaches academics in a creative, memorable way. But more than that, he shows them what giving looks like, what kindness can do, how a community can be empowered, and how young people can be enterprising. These are values that shape them into better individuals. And for him, that matters even more than any lesson on paper. Thank you for watching another episode of The Advocates. I'm Rochelle Rubio. Join me again next Friday on 104.3 The Capital.
This is where the voices of the voiceless are heard. The Advocates, Empowering Voices, hosted by Rochelle Rubio on 104.3 The Capital.